Well, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today it is a pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. But today you find me in a strange location. We are actually in Richland, Washington. There are gnats all over the place. We're here for a little weekend getaway. We came here for a film festival. The film that Diamond and I worked on, the short, is going to be in the Tri-Cities Film Festival, I think. So Richland is part of the Kennewick, Pasco, Richland, Tri-Cities area in eastern Washington. It's actually kind of southern central Washington, but anything over the Cascades is considered eastern Washington. We drove here last night. I was sick all week long. But then I got off work Friday and we immediately got in the car and drove here. It was about a 4.5, 5-hour drive. But we're here for this festival. And I thought we'd do the Sunday Stuff and Things right by the beautiful Columbia River. Let me show it to you. That's not bad, huh? So today, even though it's a bit of a different Sunday Stuff and Things, we'll still have our normal sections, including upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things, working, and Stuff and Things plays. We're going to talk a little bit about how frickin' sick I was the last week. We're going to talk about what we're doing here, where we are in Richland, Washington, and then we will have your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag #AskStuffandThings. So let's get into it. Wearing my Nick's Urban Lager boots here as I come down to the riverfront. Ugh. The landscape is so different in eastern Washington. There's sagebrush everywhere, chaparral. And here we are at the Columbia River. I saw a giant fish jumping in here as I was walking around this morning. I know that by the mouth of the Columbia, they have giant sturgeon. I don't think they have them this far up the river, but that was a huge fish. I have no idea what it was. I just caught a glimpse. Anyway, upcoming videos. What can you look forward to on Stuff and Things plays, and working? Well, this coming week, I don't have any of my notes with me right now, but we will have a video just about what we're doing here in Richland, Washington. Just trying to show you some of the amenities of the hotel where we're staying, kind of a nice little lifestyle vlog. Might show you a little bit of footage of the film festival too. Basically, since we're here all weekend, I need something to make a video about, and that's what I have chosen. So, look forward to that. I think it'll be fun. I already recorded some stuff for that this morning. Then, the next week on Stuff and Things, we will have the revisited episode for Solani aged Burley Flake. Used to be one of my favorite blends of all time, and I think it's still up there. I do think things have changed a little bit, so check out that video when it posts. On working this Monday, we're going to have episode 13. Basically, it's going to be showing you how sometimes even when you're really sick, you still have to work. In my job especially, you have concrete ordered, there's a pump waiting there, and you can't really call in sick. And then also, I'm working with quite a few Ukrainians in that job. Some of the families that help out with this program that we're doing the concrete work for are Ukrainian immigrants, and I attempt to speak some Ukrainian with them. So that's going to be the working episode on Monday. And then, of course, Tears of the Kingdom continues every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Stuff and Things Plays. Oh, I have another little announcement. Recently, I was contacted by some people on Rumble, or actually one person on Rumble, and they basically said, hey, why don't you sync your YouTube channels with Rumble? So everything that you post on YouTube will show up on Rumble. I've been leery about picking any sort of new video hosting service. A lot of people have asked me to have alternatives to YouTube. I put everything on my Patreon, or at least all the Stuff and Things stuff goes on Patreon, early and ad-free. But I figured might as well throw some stuff on Rumble too. I was worried it's a little too political and maybe too kind of out there, but I don't know. It'll give you guys an option. If you want to watch my videos somewhere other than YouTube, you can go to Rumble. Things are starting to sync. I think all the recent videos should be appearing on there, and then eventually all the older videos will be on there as well. So if you search for Stuff and Things, all one words, you can find my Stuff and Things videos. And if you do working Stuff and Things on Rumble, you will find my working videos. And again, that's all one word. So if you want an alternative for YouTube, you can go to Rumble. So, sickness. Yes, I was very sick this last week. Diamond got really sick the week before, and she missed a lot of work. I think 3 or 4 days of work, which is completely not normal for her. She never gets sick at all, and she never misses work for being sick, but she was feeling horrible. And during that whole time that she was sick, I kind of was coming down with something, but it didn't seem like I was going to get the full effect that she was getting. I thought I was getting off pretty easily and avoiding the really bad sickness. She was having like, sinus pain in her ears, horrible headache, fever, chill, body aches, everything. We weren't sure what it was. We never had any COVID tests, so we weren't able to see if it was COVID or not. But I thought I was gonna escape without really having too much of the sickness. But then when I woke up on Monday last week, I just felt horrible. I still had to go to work. We had too much stuff going on. And then by Tuesday morning, though, I was just completely shattered and I had to call in sick. So I missed Tuesday and Wednesday, but I had to go back on Thursday and Friday, even though I still wasn't feeling great. Still not feeling great now, but it's kind of the weirdest sickness I've ever had. I've never really felt like that, which makes me wonder if it was COVID. But yeah, I just had a fever, pretty bad fever, like 102, and then was shaking and like just had these crazy chills over and over again, and this weird sort of brain fog befuddlement thing where I couldn't really like think straight. I didn't know what was going on, like if I was trying to focus on a task, especially anything that required hand-eye coordination. I was just muddling through it and like not able to do it very well. Trouble sleeping, all that stuff. So pretty damn sick. No idea what it was. Might have been COVID, might have been anything. I don't know. There are other sicknesses other than COVID. But definitely on the mend now. Still not 100%. I'm glad that we get to go on this trip, but it's also, we're going to be going the whole time. So I'm not really going to have any chance to rest until we have to start work Monday again. But hopefully by tomorrow, it's Saturday now as I'm recording this, hopefully I'll be feeling better tomorrow. So I mentioned a little bit about it, but what are we doing in Richland? Well, we have a film festival, Tri-Cities Film Festival. Our short film Legacy was accepted into the film festival, so we are here. We went to one in Austin, the Lake Travis Film Festival, and that's fun. We went there last year with Diamond's screenplay. This year we went with her short film, but we thought it would be fun to go to one that was in our own state, even though Eastern Washington is kind of like a different state. It's not really the same as Western Washington, but the fact that we were able to drive was nice. So even though it's still like a 4.5, 5 hour drive, it's kind of within reach. So that is what we're here for. I don't really know anything about Richland, Washington, other than it was kind of a bedroom community that was started during World War II, part of the Manhattan Project with the Hanford nuclear facility and everything. From what I read, there was like a population of 300 people in Richland before World War II, and then once that project began, the government bought up all this land, they built all this housing for people who were working on the base and working on the project, and the population went from 300 to 25,000 by the end of World War II. Now, obviously, they're not working on the Manhattan Project. I think there's still a lot of cleanup and stuff involved in the nuclear facility in Hanford. So I think a lot of the people who live in Richland are involved in that. From what I can see, the population's around 60,000, but it's part of this kind of metropolitan area of Kennewick, Richland, and Pasco. And that's about, I don't know, 300,000 people or so who live in this area. So interesting. We're going to try to go to a winery at some point. We're obviously going to be going to the festival today. And that's basically what we're doing here in Richland, Washington. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings. I sent myself my doc, so hopefully I've got everything included here. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings. You can also write to me via Patreon if you are a Patreon supporter. You can leave me a super thanks by hitting the button under this video and go right to the front of the line, or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback under my YouTube videos. First of all, via Patreon, we have a question from Corbin Bordner who says, have you played Inside or Limbo on the Switch? These are two very cool, very stylistic platformer video games. I have played them both. I only played Limbo on the Switch, I believe, yes. Limbo came out first. I think it was originally like an Xbox Live downloadable game. And then Inside was after that. I think I originally played Limbo on Xbox 360. Is that right? I think. And then I played Inside on PlayStation 4. They both came out on the Switch eventually. I played Limbo again on the Switch, but they're fantastic games. Check them out if you haven't. Now I've got some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is from Jorg Westerhoff, who sent me that really nice care package from the Netherlands and last week's episode. They say, or he says, you're welcome. The guild teas are discontinued, so you won't be able to get them even if you were in the guild. Keep us posted on your thoughts about the teas. I would like to know what they are. And the way you like to say my name is close to the real thing. That's good. The G at the end should be a German G. So I looked into what a German G is, and they say it's basically just like the G in gum. G. So it should be Jorg, right? Isn't that right? Unless I'm missing something. But thank you once again for that wonderful package. Now, from Krishiness 6091, most likely be getting the wife one of those wallets for Christmas, and maybe one for myself. I was showing you the OpenSea bifold. I can't remember all the different designations of this wallet, but their wallets we'll be checking out on the channel soon. Next, from a name that I think is obscene, so I won't say it. I think I heard recently they've changed the aged Burley Flake recipe, and now it has licorice. Couldn't tell you when that change was, though. The tin I bought in July didn't have any licorice flavor that I could detect, but my palate is primitive. I always tasted a little bit of like anise or licorice in that blend, so I don't know if that's anything new, but I definitely didn't taste as much chocolate in ABF, Aged Burley Flake, when I tried it for the Revisited series. So I think things have changed a little bit. This is at History Unbound. There has been a lot of talk from the old timers on forums that K&K, or the makers of the Solani brands, Koolhaas and Koop of the Solani brands, did I say bronze, have replaced some of the red Virginias in these recipes, so that may be part of the difference. Please do a first impressions of Wessex Campaign Dark Flake. Cheers. Thank you, and I'll keep that in mind. We have at YLegend6, pronounced Trost, as in road. Slices is a Virginia Burley blend as far as I'm aware, not a vapor. It's good though. Yeah, that was one of those cool blends that I got from Mr. Westerhoff. And then we have at Steve Kotros 9358. I've been living in the Netherlands. There's a tiny bug on me. I've been living in the Netherlands for the last 24 years, originally from New York. Both Harvester and Late Night Stroll are no longer available. They're at least 2 years old, if not older. The Pigprokersglederglale Pipe Smokers Guild, called De Tobaksugers, roughly translated tobacco suckers, is a university fraternity. Cool. Since COVID, many of the pipe tea clubs have disbanded, since it's the camaraderie that makes it enjoyable. Mr. Westerhoff was very nice to send you the Dutch care package. By the way, the Bold Kentucky warning is in German. Enjoy. And then we have at AZHawks516, Open Seas is what used to be the Das Ophemir. And yes, that was the brand of the gun deck wallet when I reviewed that originally. Now they're called Open Seas. So that's what kind of threw me off a little bit. Okay, and now we have some feedback from the Seattle Pipe Club Down Yonder review. This is from Ashes of the Phoenix, who says, you should try and get SPC Rainier Levant. It's a Balkan blend. In my opinion, it has the strongest flavor and smell out of all the SPC blends. I love Seattle Pipe Club, but for some reason they always make my lips numb. Have you ever had a blend that numbs your lips? I have heard of Rainier Levant, and it's definitely something I will check out eventually on the channel. As for the numbness thing, I don't think so. I'm kind of wondering if maybe a Perique blend that has kind of that peppery spiciness, maybe that could be something that would cause the numbness, but yeah, nothing that I've ever had has ever numbed my lips, I don't think. Maybe someone in the comment section below will chime in. Then we have at Bishop's Pipes. Word on the street is that this is prone to mold. And that is a comment I got several times on that video, on the Down Yonder review. I did not have any mold in mine, but several people mentioned that that is an issue with this blend. I don't know how widespread it is, but I definitely got enough reports that I tend to believe that it is at least a bit of an issue. Next from at Mushroom Leg. Thanks for the review, Big Papa Bradley. Is that Dunhill new? When was the last time you bought a new pipe? I have about 30 total and can't relate to people who say, oh, I have around 200 pipes, fiddly-dee-dee. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think the Dunhill I was using was my little Bulldog with the square shank, I think. And that one, I believe, was from the late 70s, so it's not new. Not really new to me either. I've had it for a while. But I haven't had to buy a pipe in a very long time because amazing people keep sending me pipes, so I'm lucky there. And then finally, we have at Jean Taro. Your description of Down Yonder reminds me of Rattray's Dark Fragrant, which is basically Cavendish, Virginia with some Perique. The flavor is pretty simple and subtle, but I have enjoyed it quite a bit in the past. SPC Down Yonder would surely be easier to find. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had Dark Fragrant. One note, as someone who grew up in a place where the word yonder was used regularly, over yonder doesn't refer to some long distance. Over yonder just means over there, or over that a ways. To me, down yonder implies over yonder, but with a drop in elevation. But you know, words can just mean whatever. Thanks for putting out good content all these years. Yeah, my understanding of yonder has always just been like, you know, maybe it's down the road a ways, over yonder. But then you could mention it something like, yonder on the mountain, like, I don't know. I don't use yonder on a daily basis. I certainly know what it means, and I'm not in a region where people use that colloquially either, but yeah. To me, it could mean a variety of things. But gang, thanks for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in. It really helps the show go, getting responses and comments from you. But now it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It helps pay for the fancy camera, in this case, the GoPro that is filming this video, lights that I use in the studio, products and blends, things that I can get for review, and it is much appreciated. And every week we like to shout out those who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Glenn Dunnington, Jason Buckner, MDoftheNorth, David Gaudreau, Finn O'Hagan, Ryan McFadin, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, and Jonathon Proctor. And of course, the crazy people, the Maniacs who support the channels at $100 a month, people like Bob Magee. And we'll never forget our Hall of Fame member and dearly departed friend, Peter Straub. Gang, I'm recovering from my illness. Soon I will be 100%. I've still not recovered from the feeling of being a ridiculous weirdo by speaking into a camera in public. I need to get better at that, but it always kind of freaks me out when people are walking behind me. I've tried to ignore that in this episode. Please stay tuned for all the good stuff that we've got going on Stuff and Things Working and Stuff and Things Plays. Like I said, we'll have a little vlog about the Richland trip this Wednesday on Stuff and Things. Of course, all the Stuff and Things videos are early and ad-free on Patreon if you are a Patreon supporter. And now they will be available on Rumble as well if you want to check that out. Gang, I've got stuff to do, places to go, people to see, but until next time, until we meet again, I'm your good friend Burley. This has been Stuff and Things on a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.